Hi everybody, my name is LAWRENCEcan and today I'm going to show you how to draw the human eye. As you can see, I'm just roughing in the shape of the eye here. A female eye, which is what I'm drawing, is slightly more rounded than a male eye, but it's roughly the same principle. Okay, so I'm just using a basic standard brush in Photoshop to do this. I'm using a kind of reddish brownish color. And on this layer, which is underneath now, I'm just trying to find a nice skin tone. You can use whatever skin tone you fancy, but I'm just going to fill this in and add some rough tones here. And this is really just to give myself an idea of the kind of texture and the kind of 3D shape of the skin. Now I'm just going to start adding in those details and going over my lines, or should I say under my lines, because I'm working on a layer underneath my initial rough sketch there, as you can see. All I want to do is kind of go over the rough sketch that I've done and just start filling it out a little bit with some extra colors and some highlights and really just define the sketch. Now I'm adding in the white of the eye, but I'm not doing it with white. I'm doing it with a grey tone that matches the lighting environment of the skin that I've added on. So it's not a white. And again, just starting to fill in the tones. Now you can see I've gotten rid of the sketch now because I've got enough detail in the layer underneath. So I'm starting to fill in and just sharpen all of this. Because I was using a brush with a softer edge, so I've just made it a little harder now and I'm just refining that detail. I've added an eyebrow onto this, so yeah, I'm thickening that up as well. And again, just all the time, now I've got a rough sketch worked out, you know, for some people this might be enough and just call it a day. But to get a good complex eye, all I have to do is just keep refining it and refining it and refining it. And that's basically the secret of it. I can add on a nice reflection in my eye. I can add on a bit of blue in the iris itself, which really adds something there, especially from a distance. And I can add in a little more shading. I can add on a bit of color burn. I can add on, there you go, I can add on another little crease there. I can even darken these eyelashes, add more of them. There you go, and just refine the ones that I've got, add a few more little pieces there. I can make the cornea of the eye more detailed, which is really nice. And all I'm using here now is the blender brush in Photoshop as well to go around and just smoothen out the lines that I've created. And that works extremely well. Now I can use the burn brush to just add more focus, and I can also just change the overall color there, and that's looking really good. Now let's look at changing the color of the eye. I could make it blue, and that's quite simple, and that's just on a separate layer, and I can change the hue and saturation of that layer to change the color to whichever color I want, and that's absolutely easy. Now, what I want to do here is just on a separate layer, just add dabs of different colors such as reds and greens. And they just add hints of different colors to your skin once you change that layer to hue. And maybe change the opacity down. Now, my skin here is a bit light, so I'm just adding another layer on top, change it to multiply, lower the opacity. There we go. And I've added what is effectively a wash of skin color over the image there. And that looks great. Okay, so I'm going to thicken up my eyebrow. And that's just working on it with layers and spending a bit of time adding extra hairs. Now I just want to add some highlights onto my skin and onto the eye itself. Or just to add extra bits of detail. And just go around it and add extra little touches. The thing about any painting is the more you work on it, the better it's going to look. Add a touch of shadow in there on the eye itself. Obviously, it's all about the lighting. There we go. We'll add a Bit of shadow onto the bridge of the nose as well. And finally, a nice bit of texture thanks to a Photoshop brush for the skin. There we go. With a couple of different layers, that looks great. Finally, just to sign it. Now obviously, just randomly placed on the skin there, signature might look a bit weird, so let's try something cool with that. And we're pretty much done. So let's just take that and move that down into the center of our eye. We'll pick a color. That looks great. Brilliant. I'll just morph that. There we go. And I'm done. Thanks for watching. And be sure to comment, like, and even subscribe to my channel, Lawrence Can Draw. And if you did like what you saw here, you can see more of it on my website, LAWRENCEcanDRAW.co.uk.